So now let us see how we can import the different kind of objects into design center, and then we can see how we can prepare the mappings. So here we have the tables. Let us see if we have any tables under the SCOT schema. So here what I am doing is, see, we have different options, like we can create a new table. As I explained earlier, we can create the complete new structure here, and also we can import the table from the databases. Okay, so I am going to the database objects. You will get a wizard where you can identify what are all the items you want to import. See, here it is giving what are all the objects you want to import. So from the SCOT schema you can import tables, materialized views, all these things. You can select the tables for now. Here you can search the objects based on some condition. For example, you know that the table name will be something like EMP, right? So then you can give the search condition here. Even if you are not giving anything, you will get all the objects, and then you can filter out whatever you need. So I am taking only the tables. Okay, under the tables, let us see what are all the objects we have with the name EMP. See, only one table is there. So instead of that, let us say I am removing this part. I am not searching for anything. I am checking for all the tables under schema user. We have all these tables. We have employee, salary, grade, department, bonus, all the 4 tables we have. So for the time being, I am taking all the tables so that we can use them in the coming mappings and all. So bonus table, what you can say, suppose out of 10 tables, let us say I want to take only one table, then use one arrow, select the table from left side and use one arrow. And if you want to select all the tables at a time, you can use the double arrow. To deselect the tables, you can use the left arrow, like that. So here I am taking all the objects here, okay, or I am taking all the objects, so put a double arrow and it will take all the tables. And you see here I am using only one level. I am not using all levels because these are all the simple tables, and sometimes we may have if you are using all the levels, means it will, for example, let us say I have the employee table and it has different levels. It may be access, it may be referenced in some other tables and all. So all those levels it will identify and it will try to include. So here these are all the plain tables, so I am taking only one level. Give next. Here you will see the status. If there are any issues, description, everything you can see here. If anything is problem, it will display here. So go to finish. So it is importing all the objects because we have selected 4 tables, right? So it started with bonus. So bonus table is here. The table means it will, the important thing is the table structure, right? Metadata it is taking. Here the data in the tables is not important for us. The data in the tables plays important role only when we are executing the ETL or programs. Okay, so you can see the details under the columns. These are all the columns it got created. Constraints, it doesn't have any constraint. Physical properties like table spaces, all these things it got. These things you don't need to worry. If there are any indexes, partitions, all this information you can see for a particular table. So here the final status is created. That means there are no errors. So if you notice some issues with this particular import and you want to go back, then you can do undo and it will cancel the import process. So click OK, and the table structures will be imported into the modules. So if you see here, bonus is there, department is there, employee, salary, grade, all these things. You can open the details and you can see the different columns in the tables. See, these are the columns available, these are the keys, partitions, attribute sets, all this information you can see. So we have defined two tables here, and let us say I want to copy the employee data into some other table. Let us say, so in the employee table, what are all the details I have? How many columns I have? Employee number, employee name, job, manager, hire date, okay, salary, commission, department number, all this information I have. So let us say I want to create a new table, okay, and I want to copy the employee information into that table. So let us say I am creating a new table. Here I am creating new table in the warehouse builder itself. I am not taking the table from the database. We can create from the database also, but we can do it here also. So here I'm going to create a new table, employees. Okay, so under that one I'm creating employee ID, data type is putting as a number. Employee name, varchar 230. So other columns I am putting is the salary, is also again number. Okay, and what are the other things we can give? Hire date, we can give date. So only 4 columns I am creating in this table. So I have given the column names, data types, all those things here. So this table is also ready. Okay, so now I'm going to the mapping. I'm creating new mapping here. Map employees, let us say this is the so this is the mapping name I'm giving. This is like a program name you want to give. Maybe this will be created as a package in the database, so you can give some meaningful name here. So what we can give is we can give what type of operation we are going to do. We are going to insert, update, this kind of information you can give. I'm giving OK. Now you see we got a page like employees mapping, and here you can define the diagram, diagrammatic representation for your employees loading. So if you see the different available components here, we have a component palette we have on the right side, and also here the mapping properties. So this is the business name created by WS owner, and then description, what type of execution you want to do, physical name, chunking, all these things actually we can see here. So these are the properties for the mappings. Maybe we can see properties inspector at the end, but before that what we can use is the component palette. So here we have different options. Here we n number of these are all called operators. So we have all these operators. I mean, all these operators are helpful for defining your ETL process. Okay, so you may have different requirements, like you want to join some tables, you want to take the flat files, you want to do some filters, you want to do some expressions, all these different kind of operations you want to do, and you can perform using these operators. So for our case, you see here what we have, we will do a simple mapping. We will load the data from EMP table to employees, right? So what I will do is check the tables. Here we have an operator called table operator. Okay, so in the table operator, if the main usage or usability for this particular operator is, you are telling the mapping that, so I am going to use some table, right, and the table will be used for the ETL purpose. So here the table operator, just I am selecting the table operator. Okay, I am dragging it into the mapping editor. Then it is prompting which table you want to select. Okay, so under the module, actually I have only one module right now. So what it will do is it will give all the available tables from that table, from that module. So employee table I want to select, and the target is also employees in the same schema. So I'm selecting both the tables, okay, at a time. You can do one by one also, but here I'm selecting all the tables at a time. I'm selecting the tables and clicking OK. So table operator, you can use it for any source or target. Here my source is EMP table and my target is employees table. So if you want to take the table structure into the mapping, then you have to use the table operator. So here it is giving all the available columns from the employee tables, EMP tables, and finally you want to load the, let us say I want to load the details into employees tables. So what are all the columns I have in this employees table? I need the information for you can expand the tables, you can minimize the tables, or you can do like this. This button will minimize the table. Okay, if you're double clicking, it will maximize, and if you're clicking this button, it will give you all the columns. It will adjust the window to display all the columns. See here, all the columns are displayed. If I am removing this one, sometimes it will not, it will come with the default window, default size, so some of the columns may not be displayed. But if there are n number of columns, I mean 50-60 columns, then this may be useful when you want to check all the columns at a time. So employee ID I need. Where is employee ID? Here employee number is nothing but employee ID, right? See, like this I am giving the connection. Click employee number, just take the arrow here and connect it to employee ID. That means the connection has been established. See here, the dark arrow is coming, that means it is connected, and in the left side also dark arrow, that means this is going to connect to some other column in the target, that is employee ID, and then take employee name, and then take salary, then take hire date. Here I am not doing any transformations, direct like column to column. Just this, I want to copy the data from this table to this table using some only required columns. I do not want to copy all the columns. So this is the basic mapping we can do. Okay, so after doing the mapping, what we can do is see here employee properties are there. That is important because employees is the target table for us, right? So here it is saying that change data capture filter. Right now we are not capturing anything. That means here we are taking all the data. We are not capturing the records based on some changes. So you don't need to worry about it. Leave it. Here we see different options. We have conditional loading. See, I want when I'm loading this particular employees table, can I load the table directly, or can I do it based on some conditions? So those kind of information actually you can see here. So based on some constraints, if we have some constraints in this table, see by default all the constraints it is showing, but if there are no constraints, you don't need to put anything. So for me there are no constraints. I want to load everything, so I'm putting no constraints. Target filter for delete. When you are deleting the rows in this table, based on what you want to filter out the records. Okay, similarly for update, control city. Here what are all the constraints we have? Okay, data chunking. So data chunking is suppose this concept actually introduced in 11G. So when the data chunking is useful for loading the bulk data. Suppose you have a large number of records, millions of records you want to load into the target table. So it will be a time taking process, and also it will be consuming lot of CPU, memory and all those things. So in order to distribute the load, we will what we will do is we will chunk the rows into different chunks, and then we will process. That means if there are 1 million or 10 million records, in that case what we can do is I know that my system cannot handle the 10 millions at a time because my CPU is less, or some other jobs are already running. So and also SGA, PGA, all these memories, it will be huge load on the system. So then I decided, then I felt that okay, let us go for chunking. Then we can define, okay, don't put everything in one shot. Instead of that, let us do in chunks, in 10 chunks. For each chunk, let us take 1 million record, right? So what it will do is all your loading process, all your business rules, transformation, everything will remain same for all these 10 chunks. That means for each chunk it will take only 1 million records. It will process it, and then it will come to the next chunk, then it will process. Like that it will complete all the chunks. So it will reduce the load on the system, and it will be sometimes it will be very fast, because when you are doing the when you are trying to load complete data at a time, sometimes it will go into hanging mode where it will not be able to proceed further, or it cannot come back kind of situation. So in that cases This chunking is very helpful. So here we have different options like parallel chunking, filter condition based on row IDs you can do, or you can give the size like that. There are different options. Okay, you can give all these options here. And chunking is helpful when the bulk load is enabled. For the row based operation you no need to do the chunking, because anyway by row based operation it will take single row at a time. Data rules, you no need to put anything. Suppose error tables are there, suppose if any errors are coming in this particular loading process, then you can put the information into error tables. You can use the standard tables, or you can define your own tables and load into them. So important thing is general information. Okay, this is the basic activity actually we are trying to perform here. So here this is the target is employees, table name is employees, created. All these things are for auditing purpose. And loading type, this is the important one. See here we have what are all the options we have. We have delete, insert, derive from event, insert update, none, truncate insert, update insert. All these options we have. That means see my employees table, I want to load my employees table. Okay, and I told the OWB or program that okay, take the data from EMP table and load it into employees tables. But how you want to load the data? What are all the different types actually we have? So you want to just load the data, directly load the data into employees table, or you want to do some delete operation, or you want to update some operation. All these things actually comes under data loading type. So let us see one by one what are all the different options we have here. Check insert. First option is check insert. Check insert means see we have some constraint. Let us say we have some constraints on the tables. Okay, so based on checking something, you want to perform the insert operations. That means if the checking is check constraint is passing, only for that passed rows we will insert into the target table. Here our target table is employees. So if the checking condition it's not able to satisfy, then it will process them. It will not load them into the employees tables. So it will take all the records from EMP table, but when it is loading into the target table, it will check what are all the records it has to process. And the second one is delete. Okay, that means you are going to delete the records from the employees tables, right? See, I want to delete some records from the employees tables. This employees table right now we will not have any records, but let us say there are 100 records in this employees tables. So for 100 records, the department number 10, let us say I want to delete. Okay, at the time what I can do is I can give this condition and I can delete the department number 10 records from employees. So delete operation, that comes from the delete operation. So here that means only we are deleting the records, we are not inserting or updating. So after the end of the program, based on your delete option, it will delete the records and it will come out. That's it. Delete, insert. So that means here we are doing the two operations. First one is delete and second one is insert operation. That means we are deleting the records based on some conditions. Okay, for example the department 10, let us say I want to delete. After that the remaining records I want to insert into the employees table. That can be performed using the delete insert. So when you're choosing delete insert, what we have to do is, let us say I am going to the each column, and you see here loading properties. Actually all these things, loading type and loading properties, they will go together. For example, here I am giving a delete insert, okay, but at the same time if I want to delete, so based on which column suppose I want to delete, those kind of information actually you can give. You see here match column when deleting row, here I am putting as no, that means this column is not used for deleting the record. If I am putting it as S, that means when deleting the record, for example employee ID, based on employee ID it will delete first and then it will insert the records. Okay, so for example department number 10, we are getting one row from the source table EMP, and in that one the department number is 10. In my target table employees, let us say there are 100 records, but only one record is with the department 10. Okay, then that record first it will be deleted and after that it will go for the insert statement. That is how it works. So similarly we have updating also. Delete and update are DML operations and they will be similar. So when you are updating, so based on some what column you want to update. So for department, in this example let us say department number 10, for that record I want to update the records, update all other records based on employee ID, like that.